Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me for the second part of this beautiful painting. And I'm going to use a warm color of green. It has the different colors of green. It is a cool green, which is hooker green, olive green, and the light one with yellow ochre or mustardy color, and the reddish brown with the purple. I would like to fill this part with the beautiful trees and then move down to make this grass and everything, and then the river to cover it. So I have flat brush, which is so good for this stage of our painting. Even the longer hair of flat brush is better. So I'm going to use, even I can start with this green color, with the hooker green. So I choose one part, left or right, it doesn't matter which part. You can start adding the line to cover of the top of the mountain, or even one thing, because I wanted to go with these pure colors, but still I need a little bit darker green. So I'm going to mix the green with a tiny bit black to reach darker green. So to reach darker green, it's okay to use a tiny bit black to use and make your painting a little bit darker. For some parts, especially the trees that it's on the back, it's so useful. So this is a little bit darker than hooker green that we already have it. So I take some. I'm going to start with this part. Some straight line. Would like to mention about the tree trunk. Even here. I don't want to cover all the mountain that I have, so some trees should be a little bit lower, some higher. So the one that I would like to make them darker, I try to separate them right now and then move in between for the smaller and shorter one. The thickness of the tree trunk doesn't matter because they cover by leaves, so just mention about the place of them. And then with the same flat brush, I try to use the side of the brush and make some more details to make the trees like that. Even you can use heavy paint and make some texture on top. Like this heavy paint. I prefer to make more. I prefer not to let them all in the same size. It's better to be some of them longer, some of them short. So it's a kind of nature which is so better to have a balance, not all in the same level. And when I use just the tip for starting, I can make the smaller part, shorter line on top. And then when I move down, I try to make it thicker, more pigment to see, and more line to make it heavy and texture for my trees. So again, I think I need more black to add on the green and make the darker green. Hooker green is cool green, so I prefer to make it more dark and warm. And black, it's so useful to make that for me. The thickness you would like to have, it depends on you. You can make it more and more thick. heavy paint like this. I just go with very dark green color for this part of the trees that I have already. Now I move on in between to cover it by this olive color. A little bit change, another green. Even I can cover it right now. And if we see it so close, we can bring some olive green and mix it with yellow ochre to make different green color. Not all of them same color, same green and dark. It's better to have light and dark, warm and cool at the same time in our landscape and make that beautiful. This is better. And we need to know already acrylic paint get dry after it get get darker actually after it get dry. So if you would like to make it lighter, very welcome to move on and make it lighter. And I would like to bring some busy trees in beside each other. So I bring the shorter and lighter bushes in front of the darker one that I have already. And make my landscape as busy as it possible. Even the lighter color I would like to bring, this color. If you want to make it warmer, we can add a little bit yellow ochre in it or light green color. If I take heavy paint, even when the green color under it, it's still be dry, it's still be wet, it can cover on top. So I am not adding and lift up the paint. I try to sit the new paint on top of the wet surface so gently and without any pressure so they can sit on top. So this is another tree. And I would like to make one more here. Add my brush stroke randomly to make it as easy as possible. So a little bit bring these trees down. That would be more interesting. Like that. So I'm happy with this tree. Now I would like to bring some with a smaller brush. Actually, it's much more easier. So I would like to bring some reddish brown in between and make some sketch, some stroke with this reddish color, which is so interesting in landscape and gave me warm and dark beside each other, warm and cool beside each other. And it's not just one green color separate from the rest of the landscape. So we have a lots of reddish brown here and this part. I would like to bring some more on top and make the balance in my painting. Just randomly, you don't have to schedule for this specific color. Just randomly add some stroke between the leaves and make it more interesting. And that's enough. Then clean the brush very well. I move on with the purple, light purple. Would like to have some line as a branch between these green leaves. And again, this happened for balance of the mountain. We have lots of nice purple in mountain, so it's okay to bring it in our landscape too. And sometimes it's easier to let it completely dry, then move on top with purple and cover this part of the landscape with the nice purpley tone. But if it's still wet, it doesn't give you uh, actually it lift up the paint, so it's better sometimes be so heavy, takes heavy texture to let it sit on top. Or if it's not easy, we can wait everything get dry, then move on top and bring this line with purple. Even with the purple, I try to be randomly. I'm not cover all these trees with this purple. Just like that would be enough, I think, for me. And then I will let it dry, then move on next part, which is all the bottom part of landscape. Now, for the bottom part of the landscape, we have light and dark beside each other. So we can start with light color and this part that cover all of them, and it can cover by yellow ochre and reddish brown with light green color. This three color is really good for that part. So start with this color, take it heavily, and try to add some movement like this kind of brush stroke. Even if I come to the trees would be nice, and I try to come into the trees by tip of brush stroke and make some line here, and then move on. I'm not do it like one straight line, try to do like different view, different angles, but cover whole the part with yellow ochre color with heavy paint. So gently cover it and try to see this brush stroke in between. Then move on with the lighter green color under it and add some stroke with this lighter green. Even randomly would be really nice to have this light green. And it's so light and transparent, so would be great. Can continue here. So far, and then move on like that. Even this dark color of green would be nice for under the lighter tone. And I'm not worried about the brownie color that it's visible here, which is so nice in landscape and we need it. So let me add more light green color. I prefer to make it a little bit heavy with nice texture, because after it gets dry, it gives me a nice and heavy texture on top, which is so lovely. So I prefer to add more heavy paint. And even at the same time, I'm going to add this green color. It's like an olive color, which is matched with our landscape. And then move on with the reddish brown. All the colors at the same time are come on top and beside each other. Always it's nice to have a napkin to clean our brush and then move on again to the color. Cover it by this color and then on top as well. I need to come with reddish brown. Make this part a little dark. And under it is more reddish color. At the same time, I bring some greeny tone. And clean it with napkin. Move on with this lighter tone. Because for some reason, I would like to make them mix with each other. Because of that, I will bring them at the same time. So it's okay now. I'm move on with yellow ochre. Even more yellow ochre. And more reddish brown. Reddish brown is burnt sienna. And always under this part of the grass is darker and warmer. On top, I will add with a lighter tone. And I try my best to make it texture, so I hope it's visible. When you take it from an angle, you can see this lovely texture on top. So move on with the rest. Yellow ochre. Even we can follow the same shape as the grass to make it a little bit liney. Move on with the green even to make it liney in between. Darker tone. This part is so dark. So I try to use more dark color. Even for this one is better to be dark as well. So okay. Wait everything dry. This parts. Clean it by napkin. Light color green. Mustard is nice to have. And even this light color. Here. So I'm happy with it and let it, even this part we need to finish, then wait the other part get dry. So we can move on again with the reddish brown. Because these are a bunch of grasses, so cover the water. It's okay if we add something like that. And after we finish the water, we bring a little bit on top, some more grass on top. So this is the whole colors of the grass. I will wait everything get completely dry and then move on to add more water and more grass if we need. So we need to wait. So during the time I'm going to wait, I try to work on the edges. Continue from the background to the edge as well. So I'm going to add the lighter green as well, beside the edges, everywhere that I see the grass or everywhere that I see the trees. We can move on with this green color. So we can see everything which is on the background and move on to the edge as well. Now for the next part is the nice river that we see, and it's covered by all the reflection that it's on landscape. So all the trees, and then the blue color of the river and the light part, which is the white color. So I'm going to mix again more green with the black because the reflection of trees is dark. So I'm going to use this dark green color on the edge, and then the blue color of the river, and as well the shiny light of the white color. So again, back to the flat brush. If it's wet, clean it by napkin very well. And first of all, I'm going to add the edges. So clean with the tip of brush, try to add the dark color for the edges to imagine these are the reflection of the trees, which is on the back. And even randomly, we can do the zigzaggy shape. Under each part, it's really dark. Even here is zigzaggy and the reflection of trees is visible. Or we can come in between with the blue as well to cover at the same time with the blue. This fresh blue color come on top. And even at the same time, we can bring the white too to mix with it. We can mix it inside into the palette, or we can mix it at the same time with the blue on the surface that we are working. So both are okay. Here, give us a nice movement between the light and dark blue. So if you're comfortable, you can do it right away here. If not, you can do it mix blue and white for lighter blue on a palette. Even I can do it at the same time here. I don't want to pay attention to the light tone. First of all, I'm going to add the blue. Cover whole the part with the blue. Then I don't let it dry because acrylic dries so fast. I move on with the light color of white, pure white color, bring it and let them make some wave on top. Again, try to be really heavy. because when we move forward in front of us, it's okay to make some heavy texture because it's so close to us. For further, it's fine to make it flat. Even though it's more easy to cover this brownie color first, and then I will come on top later. So finish with the blue. Even mix some white on top. I cover the white and blue at the same time for the river. Now I would like to bring some darker tone as a reflection. So I clean my brush very well. Move on with the dark green color. It's better to wait everything get dry, but you can do at the same time as well. So very gently, please not lift up the first paint, which is like blue color. Try to sip some dark green on top and make some reflection of the trees that you see in the background. Like zigzaggy shape would be enough. Or even a little lighter green is visible for here. At the same time, we can add some darker green too. And it's just come by zigzaggy shape, even here. And we don't need to be accurate for the trees. It's just a feeling of reflection. But each tree, it's a start like this, would become on the bottom to the river. So we can imagine it's for that tree come here, it's for this tree come here, and a little bit move further here with the pointy part of them, like that. And even the shape of grass here, it's okay to bring it straight into the water. And then make some wave on top. So that would be nice and okay. We can leave it get dry like that and just add some grass on this part. So take again brownie color to bring back this color. I'm happy with it. So after it gets dry completely, you will feel and touch this texture, which is so lovely. Then we can continue with the same color that we have here on the landscape. Move on to the edges and finish the color of edges as well with the same grass and even the river. Everywhere the river is, we can add the river here, or we can add the grass to continue. So I hope you enjoyed this painting, and thank you so much for joining me. Hope you like it. Have a good day and night.